Hi, Leo, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing a supermoon reading for you. But before we dive into this, I have an exciting announcement. I am open to private readings. So if you're interested in a private reading, a private personalized meditation, or an animal healing, check out my website, daneharttarot.com. It will also be linked in the description box below. Also, if you could give this reading a thumbs up, if it resonates with you, give it a thumbs up. Like, comment, subscribe. It really helps me be seen by the YouTube algorithm gods, which I have fallen out of favor with since I had to take that time off to help my sick family members. So we're getting back in favor. We're slowly and steadily moving things forward. But by you liking, commenting, and subscribing, it helps me so much. So thank you so much. And if you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be listed in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. This cleanse and meditation will be accompanied by a loud sound, which you can hear better if you raise your volume. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. So let's see the energy we need to be mindful of during this time. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Here we have the Seven of Swords reversed. Okay, so there are lies around us, Leo, that we just have to be mindful of, especially. I don't mean to make us paranoid because that's not what we're here for, but especially around work, like something that you're working hard towards, that you're going after, and it can even be just self-talk that's wrong. Spirit's like you're telling yourself wrong things. You can be thinking you're less than, or you can't move forward in certain ways. So just be mindful about this. But lies at work, okay? Or what you're working on, what's very important to you, what you want to see grow and evolve. So just be aware of that. Let's see what Spirit has to say. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Here we have evolve. We're going to see with the supermoon that we are really evolving. We're really moving forward in ways that are quite astounding to us, and we're really being empowered. So there's a sense of we're getting our wings, we're flying, we're developing. Just know with the Seven of Swords reverse, Spirit's like, check things over. Okay, just don't take people's words on it. And even if you do take people's words on certain things, like you have to, right? Just make sure that you know what they're responsible for and you know what you're responsible for. Let's see what the tarot has to say. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Okay. So before we dive into the tarot and everything that the tarot has to say, let's talk about this time astrologically speaking. So this is a supermoon on the 1st of August in Aquarius. Now we have two supermoons during this month. We have it on the 1st of August and we have it on the 30th of August. So this is a very powerful, very, very, very intense time for us. Aquarius is where the supermoon is. It's the full moon is in 9 degrees 15 minutes of Aquarius, and Aquarius is our sister sign. So we can find this moon to be either just absolutely brilliant depending on where we are in our journey, right? It could be absolutely brilliant, absolutely amazing, or it could be so challenging. It can, be really intense. It's just going to be a very intense moon. Be aware of that. It can either, there's going to be no in between. It'll either go beautifully or it will bring up a lot of challenges. So just be aware. Also, with the full moon, Spirit just showed me while I was shuffling and meditating on the cards before I even turned on for this reading. Spirit was saying to me, you're going to be mindful because the moon will reflect the light of the Leo sun back on you. And it's like, well, of course, like that's what a full moon is. But it's your sister sign. Aquarius is your sister sign. So that light of you is being reflected back. And so you're going to see yourself in a very different light during this time. There's going to be a sense of seeing what you really desire, what you really want, what you're really looking for. And some of us really like what we see, and some of us we might not. So just be aware of this here, Leo. So Aquarius energy is all about community, it's about collaboration, it's grassroots, building from the ground up, it's mind, it's intellect, and it's innovation. Now, we, Leo, our energy is heart energy, and it's letting ourselves shine. Our life is about letting ourselves shine. If we do things that dull our light, that's going to be rather problematic for us. It's going to be, how do I let myself shine? How do I embrace my heart? How do I let myself move forward in just brilliance and in glory and in fully being me? That's what a Leo is all about. The head and the heart are going to be in conflict during this time. It's a time to move out of strict logic based, ways of seeing things. And that energy has gotten us stuck, right? And move more into the heart and surrounding ourselves with love, because love is the most transformative force in the universe. Now we have Heraclaw, which is the largest asteroid in our solar system. In mythology, she is the wife of, Chiron, and Heraclaw is conjunct the supermoon. So with this brings beautiful energy that holds sacred space for us. There's an energy of holding sacred space. It's an energy of silence. There's going to be a lot of power in silence, even though we might not like it. And there's also going to be a strong power towards healing, towards guiding us forward. Okay. Combined with Aquarius energy, that logic, that kind of innovative, collaborative community energy, we're really moving without judgment during this time. From full moon on the 1st of August to full moon on the 30th of August, we need to move without judgment within ourselves and to really guide ourselves forward. Now, the North Lunar Node is conjunct the dwarf planet Eris. Eris is the warrior sister of Mars, and Eris leads us to truth, justice, and equality. It leads us to stand in our power, and that's really quite brilliant. Mars is conjunct Jupiter, and Mars conjunct Jupiter has us fighting for our beliefs and what's correct. Note that we can find the Eris, the North Lunar Node conjunct Eris and the Mars conjunct Jupiter to be a little bit frustrating because we're all fighting for, truth, justice, and equality. We're all fighting for what we believe is right, but it's always just a little bit different for each person. Even if we're identical twins, it's always a little bit different. So here, just know we can find people to be rather opinionated and rather headstrong in their opinions. Like they stand in what they want. And people are going to look at us and say, well, you're the exact same way. And they're going to be right. So just be aware of this during this time, Leo. Venus is conjunct the Grand Trine, which is a visionary time. It's absolutely beautiful. It's visionary. It's inspiring. It's astoundingly powerful. Saturn is conjunct Mercury, which has us really being able to focus. It's like focus our mind, stay on track, get to where it is that we want to be. That's really beautiful energy. Lets us stay focused, lets us move forward in determination, in insight. Uranus is squared Venus. Now, this is a little tricky. If you're in a relationship, we can really be feeling restless. We can want more freedom, more independence. So be aware of that we can be feeling like, oh, I just kind of want to break free. And if we're not in a relationship, this can bring somebody into our lives completely out of the blue, very different from us, somebody who we might normally never have looked at. We're now going to be like, oh, okay, this is interesting. It brings very interesting energy forward. So just be aware of this. Also, with Uranus squared Venus, this can bring financial volatility. It can be a little bit of a harder time with things. So just be mindful about that. It doesn't have to be hard. It can just be like, wow, I'm watching my money now, right? I'm counting my pennies type of thing. Jupiter is squared the sun and the moon, meaning Jupiter is squared us. And that means that we're, heightened during this time because we're ruled by the sun, Leo. So this makes things much bigger. It makes things much more dramatic, which we can think like, do we need things bigger and more dramatic? So just be aware of that. And it has us leaving behind complexity and coming back down to earth because Jupiter is in Taurus. And that's going to be like, hey, get back to basics, look at what's really important, and grounding ourselves is going to be one of those really important things. We have the Nine of Swords crowning us: worry, doubt, fear. We're overthinking, we're overanalyzing, we're afraid of how we're going to move forward, we're afraid of where we're going to get to, we're thinking about things too much. And there might be every reason, you might be saying, Dean, I'm going through a really hard time. Or you can just be a person like me who is very good at worrying. Spirit is saying here, calm it down, and let yourself breathe. One of the things that I find with Qigong, and I know I always recommend this because I find this to be super simple and a super helpful thing to do, is tapping where your tailbone is, like on either side of your tailbone, just very lightly with an open fist, and then tapping your kidneys. Do this for 2 minutes. I do this for 2 minutes every day. I try to do it morning and night. I know it's not a long time, but sometimes it's just hard to fit in. So here with the Nine of Swords, it's like tap your kidneys. That's where a lot of our stress is held, a lot of our worry, and our vitality is in our tailbone energy. So here, letting ourselves release our worry, our fears, our doubts. We can also be finding we have a lot of lower back pain. We're kind of stooped over here, and we can be having headaches because we're overthinking, we're overanalyzing things, we're sitting in our worry, we're stewing in it. So just be very mindful of this. I was also talking to a Qigong master, and he said smiling is one of the easiest things that we can do to really help activate our chi because we have meridian points along our jaw and in our lips. So the ones for our lips are for our pancreas, and that's where we actually store our worry and our fear and our anxiety. It all goes to our pancreas, and then that also affects our stomach. And then our jaw is our liver, and that's where our anger is held. So here, just by smiling, we can be activating our pancreas energy. We can be healing our pancreas energy and our liver energy, and that can really help us decrease the worry, more center ourselves. We're also finding ourselves moving forward in a way that we might not have expected. With the Eight of Cups, we're walking away from something we once thought we would love, and we find that this is guided by the moon. And so this is going to be a very big thing for us. We're leaving something behind. We're stepping into a new way of looking at things, a new way of embracing things, a new way of seeing things for ourselves. But we're seeing something here clearly as an ending. And I don't know what that ending is going to be. It can be linked to love. For some of us, it's the end of a relationship, but it also can be linked to, not doing what we love, not embracing our hearts, not, listening to ourselves. So just know that we're also kind of, I just see it as, okay, Spirit is telling me you're getting back on track. And that's a really beautiful thing. You're getting back on track. You're walking away from something that no longer fits, that's no longer right for you, and you're getting back on track. It leads us to the lovers energy. This is Gemini energy. So there's a duality to things during this time that's very important for us to acknowledge. We can find that there is also Gemini energy, lovers energy that makes us a student during this time, which is also a really powerful thing. We're looking at what we love. How do we move forward? There is a sense here, again, pancreas energy coming forward, anxiety and fear, looking at things and letting that fear be acknowledged, but also not letting that fear rule us. And it's funny because in the chakra energy, yellow is the solar plexus. So the pancreas also holds the stomach, holds stomach energy. And we can find that our stomach gets very upset. So here, just be mindful. Just be mindful of embracing what you love. And here, there's also a sense of putting a voice because we have that deep, kind of indigo, but it's violet, so it's the third eye, but it's also here I see also blue, so it's the throat. It's listening to what you're seeing. It's listening to your intuition and how you're developing things. It's opening of your third eye. But what's suppressing it is anxiety and fear. And once we learn how to not let our fear overpower us, once we learn how to calm ourselves and soothe ourselves, we're going to see that we trust our voice a lot more and we open up our third eye in a way that's very powerful and very guided by our angels. There's going to be a duality during this time. There's going to be two very interesting either roads that we can walk down from full moon to full moon, or there's going to be two very interesting things that we're working towards, two very different things that we're juggling during this time. I just see here very powerful duality. And it brings us to the hangman. It brings us to looking at things very differently than we have looked at things before and feeling like we stepped into another world. So there's an opening up of our ideas, of what we want, of what we desire for ourselves. There is also a sense here of feeling like I'm in a place where I might not always feel like I belong or where I'm comfortable. So just know that there's a change, there's a very powerful change. I do feel a bit of discomfort around this. It's not a bad change, but it's kind of like when you step into some place and you don't know everybody and you're a little bit hesitant or you don't know anybody and you're hesitant and you're like, oh my gosh, how is this going to work? So here, just being very respectful of that energy and not beating yourself up or berating yourself because of it is going to be a very important thing. With the Page of Swords, this is air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. This moon is going to be a huge teacher for us. It has us connected with spirit in a very powerful and very beautiful way. A lot of messages from our angels are coming during this time, which again, powerful and beautiful. We do have the white horse here. So the white horse in Celtic mythology, white animals symbolize the spirit world. They were very linked to the spirit world. So what we're going to see here is spirit is kind of teaching us how to run, how to embrace a freedom, how to embrace a fluidity of movement that wasn't had before. There's a sense of galloping forward, which if you've ever ridden a horse, it's quite different than walking, right? You can that's why it's called horsepower, right? You can get someplace with so much more speed and there's so much power to a horse. So that's what we're going to be really looking at here. There's also a sense of cutting through a lot of questions that we have been afraid to ask. We're looking at things in a way, it's like, am I opening up this door? Am I moving myself forward? Am I going after what I want, what I need, what's important to me? Now, this can be a time where we kind of see work slowed down. So this makes sense. And I'm hesitant with this because I don't want people to get upset and be like, no, 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 work can't slow down. This can also be a time where we're not really into working. If you're in the northern hemisphere, it's hot, it's summer, we can be kind of moving just a little bit slowly and we can be thinking, "Oh, I don't want to do this. I want to just either be sitting outside with a lemonade or, just not doing this type of thing." And if we're in the southern hemisphere, it's cold, I just want to be cuddled up on the couch, reading a good book, drinking a cup of tea, that type of energy. It's like I don't really want to be doing this, like working on this minutia here. The details, look over things because I can see us missing some details that are important. So put things to the side, give it a minute, then go back to it. I don't see that we can give it a lot of time, but putting things to the side is going to be very important for us. But also knowing that we're going to want things to be different. We're kind of looking to spice things up. And in work, if it's always the same, always the same, always the same, my gosh, do we get bored? So just be aware of that during this time. But it can also be the sense of like, oh, I don't want to do this. So just know that we can have a tendency to procrastinate. So if we can hold ourselves accountable, really, meditate upon the Saturn conjunct Mercury energy that helps us focus, that helps us stay on track, that can be really important for us. So let's see what the moon has to say for herself. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. And show me clearly, angels. Okay. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly, guide this reading, and show me clearly. That's lovely right here, what the moon is saying. Angels, and spirit guides, angels and spirit guides, show me clearly, guide this reading, and show me clearly. So just know during this time, the extra card that came out is self-reflection, reverse. So we cannot be very self-reflective during this time. We're just charging forward. It's like full speed ahead. Slow it down and let yourself reflect on things. Let yourself say, like, is this right? Ask yourself these questions. Journal at night, kind of, or in the beginning of the day, wherever you feel comfortable. Journaling. There's a sense of kind of getting it down and seeing the way that you need to progress forward. Because self-reflection reversed during this moon, it's like, I'm just going to charge ahead. I'm just going to go for it. So the moon is saying, slow down. Now, with the Nine of Swords, what's very interesting is that the end of a tough cycle approaches, and we're releasing, because we have fear reverse, we're releasing a lot of fear. So with the Nine of Swords reverse, what we were worried about, what we feared, what we were very overwhelmed by, what really took a lot of our attention, that's being released. And we're going to find that it's the end of the tough cycle, it's the end of the fear, an end of the worry, and we're coming back to, I just see like we're coming, it's almost like we're coming back home, we're coming back to a very loving, caring, beautiful place. We have to let go of that fear. Will. We have will and we have meditate and contemplate. Will we meditate and contemplate as we move forward, as we leave behind what has made our lives stagnant or what is no longer fitting? And that's going to be a very big thing to slow things down. Again, meditating, contemplating, however we meditate, if it's going for a walk, if it's journaling, if it's swimming, whatever it is, it could be a physical activity, it could be doing yoga, that's physical. It could be singing, whatever lets you meditate and release, that's going to be really important during this time, Leo. It brings us then to create a new romantic cycle begins. So as we embrace the lovers, as we embrace love, a new romantic cycle enters into our lives, and we create that for ourselves. We create using love, knowing that this is a time where the head and the heart come together. And even though it can bring conflict, it can bring it in a big way or in a small way, depending on where we are in our journey. It really has us focusing on love to transform our lives. And that's going to be a very big deal. With seeing things differently with the hangman, it starts to bring things into balance. And it says here your commitment is being tested. As the moon brings into balance what we want, what we love, what's important, our commitment to that energy of what we love, what we want, of what's important to us, it is tested. And that's not a bad thing. We could be like, oh, why is this a challenge? Or why is this so hard? Or why isn't this moving forward the way that I needed it to, wanted it to? It's because we're being tested. Our commitment to what we want is being tested. So when it comes up during this full moon, and from this full moon to the full moon, and again, first of the month, full moon, supermoon, extremely powerful. And we have Venus conjunct the Grand Trine coming in, very powerful, visionary energy. The end of August, we have a blue moon, supermoon, again, very powerful, very intense energy coming forward. Our commitment to what we want is tested, but it brings us back into balance with ourselves. There are going to be some harsh truths that come forward, some very intense things that are seen. Darkness. I just heard the song Hello Darkness, My Old Friend. It's not a bad thing. There's a sense of coming back to the quiet, coming back to the darkness. There's a sense here with the Page of Swords. We're really looking at the unseen, and a connection with the sacred feminine is going to be super important to us. You're good enough. That energy coming forward, that full moon energy of you are good enough. It's not patronizing. It is astoundingly brilliant. You are good enough. Where you are at this moment is enough. We can want to change. We can want to be better. We can say, okay, Dane, that's a lie. But you know what? If we tell ourselves that lie, I am good enough, and we start to live in a way that makes us feel good enough, that makes us look at ourselves with pride and respect and purpose and integrity, that's brilliant. That's brilliant because I'm enough and I'm bringing enough to the table. And that's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. See yourself as enough. Write it everywhere. I am enough. I am enough. Because you're filling an empty cup and you need to fill an empty cup. You need to have a jug, actually, to fill another person's cup. You need to fill yourself up. The realization is reverse, and so is prosperity lies ahead with work. We don't want to work. We're like, oh, yeah, I've had enough of this. The realization is reversed. We're not seeing that we're the key. We need to kind of put things together, line things up. Prosperity lies ahead. We're not really feeling that way. We're like, oh man, I have to do this, or I'm not getting the results that I want. I don't want to keep putting in the work to not get the results. And Spirit's like, don't you dare give up on you. Don't. It can be kind of easy during this time, the sense of like, ugh, it's just so easy to push it away or to do something that's easier, more like, yeah, that just seems to come easier. But Spirit's like, don't give up on what you really want, because easy is, well, easy. Our subconscious energy to be mindful of is the Three of Pentacles. Somebody's trying to take credit for what we do. Just be aware of this. Work hard, know what it is that you want, but also know that somebody is trying to take credit, or others try to take credit for what you do. So stand firm in what you've done, like keep track of it. Our subconscious spirit message here is magical reversed. We need to put the magic back into our world. However we embrace the magic, however we embody magic, let the magic back into your world. The magical needs to come in. Our subconscious tarot message is the Chariot. I love that we're ruled by the sun, right? We are represented by the Strength card in the Major Arcana, and Cancer is represented by, why did I say Cancer? Okay, because Cancer is ruled by the moon. Why did Spirit bring me there? If you're born on the cusp with Cancer, because this is Aquarius energy, but it's kind of like the waters. Okay, that's why. The waters are bringing the tides forward, right? That's why people say, people go crazy on full moons. If you've ever been to the hospital during a full moon, or a full moon had happened and you're in the hospital, you can hear people talking about the full moons, nurses, doctors, that type of thing. It's always, I find it so interesting. And here with the Chariot energy, you're going to find that this is a time to rein in the emotions of what you want, to really set that intention, to illuminate that goal, and to move things forward. The moon is going to be super important to you. The sun, super important to you. It rules you. But this moon is going to be a big deal. It moves us then to the subconscious energy of the moon, which is power. This moon brings us tremendous power. It's a very, very powerful moon. I cannot emphasize this enough. And it says here, with the void of course reverse, nothing will come of the situation. The void of course is within a lunar cycle. There are certain periods called the void of course. You can look them up online, because there's many of them. And it's just that during that time, things don't go the way that we wanted them to. It only lasts a few minutes, but things don't go the way that we had expected. So it's like nothing will come of this. What you thought was going to happen isn't going to happen. That's not true with this full moon. With this full moon, nothing will happen. Nothing will come of this situation. Reversed. A lot of things will come of this situation. A lot will be leading you forward. You'll be seeing things in such different and such powerful ways. It's going to be intense, but it's going to be beautiful. All right. All right, Leo. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power and intensity of this supermoon and of ourselves. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Leo. May blessings and prosperity always be with you. I love you all, God bless and have a blessed supermoon. Bye.